Hey everybody, it's time for the children's sermon. Today's children's sermon is called The Man Who Didn't Have Any Friends. None. I'll be honest, we've read this story before. In fact, we've read all of the stories in the Jesus Storybook Bible, I think. And so we're going to do some repeats now, but that's okay. These are good stories to remember and to retell. And so this is about a man named Zacchaeus. You can read about it in your big Bible if you look at Luke chapter 19. But Zacchaeus is a small little guy who nobody likes. He has no friends. None. Let's hear a little bit about what happens to our guy Zacchaeus when he tries to meet Jesus. Here we go. The man who didn't have any friends. None. There was once a man who didn't have any friends. None. Do you have any friends? Well, of course you do, but not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any. You're probably wondering why. Was it because he was so short? That's not a reason not to like someone. Was it because he had a name that was hard to say? Well, neither is that. Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that wasn't it. No, people didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Taxes were what people had to pay the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to and kept the extra money for himself and made himself rich. Everyone knew what he was up to, and it made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one bit. So they made sure he knew it by doing things like avoiding him and walking on the opposite side of the street and pretending not to see him and whispering things like, "There's that nobody who thinks he's a somebody," loud enough so that he could hear. Anyway, one day, a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town, and everyone wanted to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but everyone was too tall. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. He couldn't see a thing. Luckily, Zacchaeus had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said. So he did. He was surprisingly good at climbing trees for a man who was so unusually short that he had to take a flying leap just to get into his chair in the morning. From the tree, Zacchaeus had the perfect view all the way down the road. Another minute and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus, and Jesus saw Zacchaeus. "Zacchaeus," Jesus said, "I'd like to come over to your house." Zacchaeus almost fell out of the tree. Come over to his house? No one ever wanted to come anywhere near his house, let alone inside. The people saw this, and needless to say, it made them even crosser and grumpier than usual. They mumbled and murmured and muttered, "Why is Jesus being kind to that big sinner? Doesn't Jesus know about him?" Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a big hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about him. Perhaps Jesus didn't know about how he had been stealing and how no one liked him and how he didn't have any friends. But Jesus knew. He knew all about Zacchaeus and the stealing and everything. And he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. "Lord," he said, turning pale, "what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I will give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole." And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled. "My friend," he said, "today God has rescued you." Jesus loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was Zacchaeus' friend, even when no one else was, because Jesus was showing people what God's love was like. His wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh. Oh, let me just get some... I'm so clumsy. Okay, let me just grab... Oh, shoot. Okay, let me just check the calendar. See what's... Oh, come on. Well, that doesn't help. Okay, let's see here. Let's just reply to this email and we're good. Uh-oh. I think I just clicked reply all. That's not the best. I have been making a lot of mistakes today. God, give me a song. Give me a song. Yeah. God loves me as I am, even though I have dropped everything and made lots of dumb mistakes today. God loves me as I am. Cool. Wasn't that a good story? Okay. So Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus, and he had to climb up a tree because nobody would let him see. And Jesus saw him and saw this lonely man who had no friends and said, Zacchaeus, I'm coming to your house today. And Jesus showed Zacchaeus love, even though he probably felt like he just kept making mistakes, that nobody loved him the way he was. And then you saw that funny little skit where I just dropped everything everywhere. I just kept making mistakes and mistakes and mistakes. But then I heard that song, God loves me as I am. This love heals us all. God loves me as I am. What a powerful, important message. Jesus loved Zacchaeus just as he was, and yet Jesus also helped Zacchaeus change. That's the thing about God's love. God loves you exactly the way you are, and God's love will change you for the better. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your faith into practice, just like we always do. And here's how you're going to do that. I want you to put some Post-it notes around your house. Maybe on the mirrors. Hang on. Whoa. Reaching off my desk for these Post-it notes. I want you to find a Post-it note, and I want you to write on that Post-it note, God loves me as I am. And then stick that Post-it note on a mirror in the bathroom, or maybe there's a mirror by the front door to your house. But so that way, when you look in the mirror, you see yourself and you see God loves me as I am. You see that message instead of anything else. I'm Pastor Nate. These are Post-it notes. This is the Jesus Storybook Bible, and this has been your children's sermon for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great week. See you soon.